To make your own bling bling sandals, buy some inexpensive sandals from a local department store or variety store. The first thing to do is measure the width of the straps, and in this case it's almost exactly 1 inch, so we will get ready to cut a pattern. Now the pattern we'll make a little bit wider, we'll make it 1.25 inches. I am going to make my pattern out of some cardstock or heavy paper, and I'm going to make a mark here at 1.25 inches and another one down here at the other end at 1.25 inches. And then I will draw a line with my pencil. And then I will take my ruler and a good sharp knife and cut my strip. Now I'm going to make 2 of these strips. I will now take my strip of cardstock and align it along the edge, as you can see here, and then I will take my pencil and sketch a light line right down the middle. Next I will take my ruler, and with my sharp knife I will cut this angle. Now I will bring my shoe back in and I will double check to see how my angle is. And my angle looks pretty good. So now we'll take the other piece and cut the other side, the one on this side. We'll do the same thing. We will line it up along the upper edge. We will draw a line, and we will cut that one with our knife as well. Next I will take my pieces of poster board or cardstock, whatever we call it, and with a piece of clear tape I will tape it together. And then I will trim it with my knife. Now I will take my pattern and line it up, as you can see, and yes, our pattern looks good. Now if the pattern does not fit, make another pattern. It's cheaper to cut cardboard than it is to cut leather. I'm going to cut this from 4 to 5 ounce vegetable tanned leather because we're going to tool it, and I'll carefully mark it with my scratch awl. And now we will turn it over and cut for the other side. I have decided to stamp a border on my piece of leather, so I will dampen it with water, and then I will set it aside for a few minutes and let it soak in. My leather is beginning to return to its natural color, so we will begin stamping. I'm going to stamp with this border stamp. It looks like this, and I'm stamping it about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. This is how our piece looks after we have done the tooling. I have decided I would like to put a concho right in the middle, as you can see here, So while my leather is still damp, I will press it and make a mark, and that's exactly where I will punch a hole. I would also like to add some other crystals along here, so I will use my wing dividers and make some marks, as you can see. I will use it as a way to mark the distance between and for where we will punch our holes. Do the same thing to the other side. So now I will punch a 1/4-inch hole for my concho, and then I will punch some 1/8-inch holes where I will attach some crystal rivets. Please also note that I have rounded the point on my piece of leather. I have also decided to put a small crystal rivet inside the arc of each of these tool impressions. So I'll mark them with a scratch awl, and note that I'm bringing in my concho here because I do not want to put one underneath where the concho will go. So now I will use my 1/8-inch punch and carefully punch inside the arc of each of these tool impressions. I have decided to make these sandals pretty bright, so I'm going to use the Sky Blue EcoFlow highlight. And I will get some on a dauber, make sure it gets down in all of the tool impressions. And then I will wipe with paper towel. And I will also put some on the edges. And now we will put this aside to dry. Next, we will attach some of the crystal rivets to our piece of leather. We'll push it through the hole, put a rivet cap on the back, and with our setter, we will drive it down into the setting mat. As you can see, it's real easy to set these. Put the next one, turn it over, put the cap on, and drive it down with the setter. Now I will install a smaller crystal rivet along the edge. I'll just put one through like we normally did. Take a rivet cap, put it over the post, and crimp it down with the setter. And there's our piece all ready to attach our concho. And we have attached our concho. We're now ready to attach this to the shoe. I'm going to use a permanent contact cement now, and I will turn this over and apply it to the back. And I will put a very liberal coat on, as you can see. We will coat all the way down, although we will be trimming some of this off, making sure we get good coverage. We will also apply a liberal coat of the contact cement to the outside of the straps on the sandal. Our cement has dried until it's tacky, so now we can very carefully place our piece of leather and bring it around, as you can see, and we'll go around the other side, making sure we stay exactly on to the strap. Now we can press down very good. Now you'll notice that we are a little longer here than we should be, so now it's just a matter of taking the shears, and we will cut. And now we can tuck this in, as you can see, and we have a real nice fit. We'll do the same thing here to the other side. And our shoes are finished. And there we have a really nice shoe. And here we have another shoe done the same way, except that we put some nickel spots on the edge. We used the hair-on cow and some of the crystal rivets.